Will be for sure. Well, during this Halloween season, have you stopped and wondered how haunted your neighborhood might be?
Join us now on a frightful journey as we travel Tampa Bay, investigating some of the area's spooky and eerie places that could be right around the corner from where you live.
I'm Mark Muncy, author of Eerie, Florida and Freaky Florida from the History Press. Join me as we travel through some of the spookiest locations in Tampa Bay. One of the most notable haunted locations, and certainly one of the most striking, is here at the Sulphur Springs Tower in Tampa. A giant white structure rising over 200 feet in the air, just off 275. This tower was built to supply water and pump from the springs there for Maeve's Arcade, one of the first indoor malls in the country, in 1927. And in 1933, during the Great Depression, the Tampa Electric Dam was sabotaged. The waters flooded the area and destroyed most of the arcade, and causing many of the businesses to fail. Many of the owners of those businesses decided to take their own lives off the convenient giant water tower. Ever since then, this place has supposedly been haunted by the spirits of sad and lonely ghosts. The poor lost souls fall from the tower's great height over and over again into eternity. Who can explain it? Our next stop on our tour of the terrors of Tampa Bay is the Nebraska Avenue Trestle Bridge. Now, this bridge is the home of a terrifying monster, according to legend. The monster lures students from the nearby school onto the bridge by being a body laying out on the bridge, going, "Help, help," calling for help. And as you walk closer, it rises up with the spidery legs lifting the body and behind it. And it's using the body as though an anglerfish to lure you out onto the trestle bridge. And the students realize they have no choice but to either face the monster or fall into the waters below. There are a large number of suicides and missing persons attributed to this bridge. Are they hiding the truth? Here we are now at the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, one of the most iconic landmarks in Tampa Bay. Also, one of the most haunted locations in Florida. Known for the collapse of 1980, where the old span collapsed, and now they've built the fishing piers beside it. The old bridge lost many lives during that collapse, 23 to be exact. Many on one lone Greyhound bus that drove right off the edge that fateful morning when the Summit Venture smashed into the span. The fishermen on the old span over Tampa Bay, that is now a fishing pier, see the bus scream past them in the mornings with the passengers all wailing in terror as they drive off the end of the old bridge into the dark waters of Tampa Bay over and over again. Here we are at the St. Petersburg Museum of History. This museum houses the oldest resident of Tampa Bay, an Egyptian mummy. A boat captain with a traveling circus on board couldn't pay his docking fees at the pier. So what did he do? He gave the city the mummy and its sarcophagus as payment. The mummy itself, no one knows who she is. She's been studied numerous times by the Smithsonian. You can count on one hand the number of Egyptian mummies permanently on exhibit in the United States, and we have one here in Tampa Bay at our Sleepy Little History Museum. Such a curiosity. Here in Safety Harbor at Felipe Park, there's a famous Indian mound. The mound itself, quite impressive, also has a legend. The legend is that a shaman from an old tribe climbs the hill every night at sunset, including now his spirit, which continues to make this journey. Every night, this shaman summons a giant earth spirit to protect Tampa Bay from the storm gods. The reason there's so much lightning in Tampa Bay, why we're called the lightning capital of the world, the shaman summons the earth elemental, and it fights the storm gods every evening. Their battles are what we see reflected across the sky. Natural phenomena, or a spirit fighting our storm gods? So this Halloween, remember there are myths, monsters, and legends everywhere you look, perhaps even in your own backyard. See you on the other side.
And we are joined now by the authors of the books Freaky Florida and Eerie Florida, Mark Muncy and illustrator Carrie Schultz. Good to have you both back.
I was glad to be here.
no shortage of things to find that are freaky and eerie in Florida, huh?
Especially politics.
Honestly.
Come on. That's really scary.
That's been going on for a lot longer than you realize, too. So.
And why are you holding this bear? What is going on?
Oh, no,
here?
this is Robert. This is Mini Robert the doll.
Okay.
One of the most haunted dolls in Florida, real Robert, who's on the picture here. And you have to be very nice to Robert, and you have to ask Robert's permission to film him. So we've all asked beforehand, is it okay if we film you? Even Mini Robert, we just always think, don't poke the bear. And this doll is the real Robert, down in Key West, is the inspiration for Chucky. One of the most haunted dolls in the world.
Wow.
And many stories about Robert going back hundreds of years.
What did Robert do?
Well,
there's Robert. Look at the picture.
There he is, right there.
That's the real Robert.
That's real Robert,
Okay.
down in the Fort East Morello Museum.
Okay.
He's got his own little pet lion there. He was the toy of Robert Eugene O'Neill. And when Robert Eugene O'Neill got this little doll, he started calling him Robert. And they're like, wait, no, you're Robert. And he's like, no, he's going to be Robert. I'm going to go by my middle name, Eugene, so that there's not any more confusion. And then things start breaking. The servants are going crazy because he's talking to this doll and the doll's talking back. So, and he would just be like, no, Robert did it. Robert did it.
Oh, okay.
Eugene O'Neill, the playwright.
Yeah, it was Robert Eugene O'Neill. He was an artist.
An artist, okay,
an artist.
Wonderful.
And then he eventually, Robert's lived in Key West for years. He's been seen all over the place, and he's, seen without people around a lot too.
Wow.
So,
Carrie,
spooky place.
do you believe in spirits and ghosts and all this stuff, or do you just think it's just fun?
Well, I'm not really a person who has sensitivity to that kind of thing. I leave that to him more. I just come in, I'm like, this is just cool stories. I really enjoy it. I love, hey, I love scary stories when I was growing up. So this is just stuff that's a lot of fun for me. And hey, if something happens, something happens.
That's always great.
That's an open mind.
It really is. I love horror movies. I love ghost stories, and I've always felt like Florida has such, a big history of that. Just because of the way Florida was even, sort of founded and what it's become and how it was created, there's a lot there.
It's like the whole state was built on a giant Indian burial ground.
Yeah.
No, we've got monsters, we've got myths, we've got legends. We did Eerie, Florida, our first book from History Press. We had everything from Pinky the Sea Monster up in the St. Johns River down to, the Trestle Bridge Monster we talked about earlier in that little video.
Yeah.
Who's, I have to ask about Minnie. Who's Minnie?
Oh, Minnie Lightning. Minnie Lightning is the voodoo queen of St. Petersburg.
Wow.
And if you go anywhere on the south side of St. Petersburg, people will say, stay away from mini lights. Don't mess with the mini lights. And it's a legend near Roser Park, which is a beautiful downtown area. Roser, the man who invented the Fig Newton, bought the land.
Who knew?
I'm a big fan of those. Look at me.
Exactly. But there's a legend there that if you go there late at night, if you're a child, you'll be abducted or taken away by little alligator men. Oh. And that's Minnie Lightning sending out her voodoo minions to stop you. She's also one of the other possible legends why we have so many storms in Tampa Bay, because she's Minnie Lightning. And if you say Minnie Lights a few times, these things will come at you. But it all goes back to a very dark, true history that we were the alligator farm capital of early tourist Florida. And what they would do is they would actually kidnap children, African-American children usually, and use them at their theme parks to let them be chased around by alligators.
Okay, let's move on to Gulf. Let's go to Gulfport and the casino. There's a ghost?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
You want to talk about that one?
I'll let you do it.
All right. Well, the Gulfport Casino we all know and love. Beautiful place, but it was originally about a half-mile further out over the water, over the Gulf. And it was had a two-story thing. It was at the end of a thing called the Electric Pier. Okay. And on this second floor, they had a dance studio. And it was a wonderful place to go, just visit and hang out. And they used the term casino as just gathering place, not what we think of as a modern-day casino. And it's still the current one. But it was destroyed by a hurricane in 1917. But one of the dancers is still seen.
There's the dancer.
Every morning, dancing out where the old casino was, out over the water, up 2 stories in the air, dancing with an invisible partner. And Carrie brought him to life. And you can see the Don Cesar hiding behind him. Wow. Another haunted place in Tampa.
So plenty of weird things happening and no chance everything's going to just move away to another state? This is
Oh,
haunted for life.
7,000 miles we've traveled for the 2 books, and we still find more and more stories, and we still have yet to
yes.
leave the state.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
You know what's
Okay.
really scary? Go to Pasco. I'm kidding. I love Pasco.
Mark and Carrie, thank you both very
thank
much.
you.
Oh, thank you. Happy Halloween, gang.
Daytime's Haunted Halloween. We'll be right back.